Hi, and welcome. We are a group of teachers called the Teachers Collective for Racial Justice. Our purpose is to utilize historical knowledge and cultural analysis through an educational video series. We want to begin this project with transparency and recognize the foundation of our work. First, as of now, we are a group of non-Black people of color and recognize that our historical deconstruction of institutional racism is informed by our own experiences, yet distinct from the Black experience.
We do not seek to co-opt this movement, and we will use our individual and collective platforms to center Black leadership.
In a capitalist, white supremacist, imperialist, cis heteropatriarchy, we should all be race experts.
Ms. Angela Davis states, in a racist society, it is not enough to be non-racist, we must be anti-racist.
Second, we acknowledge that the work of educating people on anti-racism is the duty of all committed to an equitable society. The labor of transforming collective grief and outrage into eloquence and articulation should not fall on the most oppressed, though it often has.
As such, we will do this work as an extension of what we've done in the classroom and provide this information to a wider audience in order to increase access, bring greater awareness to the whitewashing and erasures of history, and dissect the lasting effects of white supremacy on all aspects of society. We will be dismantling the history on which people base their understanding of the world, and hope that our audience takes this knowledge and uses it to advocate for racial equity. Finally, we want to remain open as teachers engaged in lifelong learning.
If anything that we create or promote or put out is inaccurate, inconsiderate, or just plain wrong, we will change it. We will learn. We are committed to growth, our own very much included. We know that committing ourselves to anti-racism does not absolve us of racism or make us perfect, but it does require that we hold ourselves accountable, and we hold ourselves accountable to you.
My name is Chris Marmolejo, and I am a queer brown educator, an intuitive healer committed to radical community healing and building. I seek to liberate through critical pedagogy, client consultations, and transgressive truth-telling. I have 5 years of educational experience working with marginalized students to provide them the means of liberation through education. I was born and raised in San Bernardino and earned my master's in teaching credentials from UC Santa Cruz.
Blessings and bendiciones to all my cybernetic relations. My name is Carla Gonzalez. I am a homegrown educator based out of East Salinas, California. I teach ethnic studies, Chicanx studies, and U.S. history at my alma mater. I also serve as Mecha coordinator. My hope is that the work of this collective and all videos that are put out is used to start conversations, to increase access, and to provide new knowledge, really based around critical race theory and the history of this country. I know that oftentimes critical race theory and access to these kinds of resources are coveted and are inaccessible. We hope to break that trend.
Hello everyone, my name is Nick Neese, and I am a high school social studies teacher. I was born in Texas, but I grew up in a suburb of San Diego called Santee, which unfortunately has a nickname of Clan-T for fairly obvious reasons. Growing up, I went to a predominantly white high school, and I received a predominantly white education, consisting of the basic foundational concepts, but never really diving deeper. As a college student, I focused on American history and education, and more so realized the issues that are pervading the systems. As a white Mexican American, I understood racism as it affected other people, but really learned about the systemic nature of racism in college because my white city hadn't taught any of us about it. This new development of knowledge and a master's credential program that was centered on teaching from a lens of social justice has set me up to teach government, economics, and world history with an emphasis on understanding and addressing the problems that communities of color continue to face. My hope is to use my privilege as a method for communicating the issues of systemic racism to a diverse audience and to especially communicate to those whose education failed to recognize the history that has brought us to this point.
In a time and place like this, we should all have access to critical race theory, and we should all be race experts. Thank you for sharing your time and energy with us. It is appreciated.